A tour of urban gardening projects around the country or urban food system initiatives around the country has to take into consideration permaculture, a growing movement which tries to make agriculture more sustainable and more holistic. And in this area, I turned to Jenny Pell, a permaculturalist in Seattle who's involved with a lot of initiatives around growing healthy food in more places with more people.
So we don't have a centralized urban farm hub, although there's a web page of that name. But there's tons of groups trying all kinds of different things. So there's the sustainable cities, there's TILF, there's the permaculture folks, and on and on and on and on. This is a nitrogen fixing shrub.
As we walked around
Boomy.
her neighborhood, Jenny pointed out tons of different kinds of edible plants just growing next to the sidewalk, next to the cars in the street.
Raspberries, raspberries, raspberries. Drew some artichokes. I like growing in my potatoes. I have yarrow, and I have dill, and I have fennel. I have some volunteer thornless blackberries. And then all these tips will start to root.
Jenny also pointed out that there's a number of people who are growing food to supplement their income.
She's making some money doing this. It's her cottage industry. Beans, espaliered fruit, cherry tomatoes.
Here's a rainwater catchment system and a bunch of container gardens.
Almost all annuals only need about 30% of the available sunlight during a day. And so you have plenty of opportunity for gardens with some shade in them. Let's see what this guy's got. Arugula, tomatoes, herbs, strawberries.
As we walked around the neighborhoods surrounding her house, it was almost hard to believe how many people were growing food in front lawns and sidewalks, etc.
I'm not going to do anything about it, so why should I plant anything for anybody else? And my attitude is, isn't that cool that the next people that move in here get to have a raspberry patch? And so we have several different kinds of kale. I've got golden beets and red beets and huge fat beets. This is a green cone. This is a urban food digester. We call it the black hole of compost, and you just dump all your food scraps in.
In addition to having a pretty robust garden, Jenny also has all the materials needed to build a cob oven, so she can bake her own bread and bake her own pizza with ingredients from her own garden. One of the principles behind permaculture is intensive planning and observation.
We have here like mixed food forest nut groves and persimmons and mulberries and fruit trees and nut groves, and this is all like craft guild of willows, coppice plants and dye plants and all kinds of craft things in here. This is a big community play field with an edible hedge, text layout, and I just start to look at like where's their view sector and where's the wind come from and where's the sun sector and where the deer come from, and I start. So my favorite metaphor these days is how can you expect the table to be full and overflowing and abundant if you don't bring something to the table? And that's my challenge to a lot of my students and my colleagues is what are you bringing to the table? Is it skills? Is it food? Is it creativity? Is it, are you an economist? I don't care what it is you're bringing, but you need to bring something to the table. You can't expect someone else to set the table for you, grow your food, clean up after you. I think it's a shift we need to all make in our way we think.